I'm pretty sure that the other night my husband and I met the devil. And for the sake of this video, I am going to use the word the devil because that's what it felt like. And in my experience and opinion of doing many clearings of dark energy and shapeshifter energy and little sneaky energies and all the kinds of things I've done as a shamanic practitioner for a long time, many things that are dark or misaligned or dense come from the hub of the devil. So I'm going to keep this pretty biblical in the fact of like God, devil, because we see it everywhere. We see whether we turn to the divine, to God, right, to our hearts, to love, or do we turn to the devil, lies, gambling, addiction, cheating, like anything that takes you away from yourself, that is that energy in simplified terms. So I'm not going to keep saying the devil. I'm going to say D. So I think we're pretty sure we met the devil at the grocery store at Sprouts the other night. So just very briefly, I'm going through a current spiritual cleanse, meaning that I am working on something very, very deep within myself, very karmic, very lifetimes of a pattern that I am working to shift and change. I keep upkeep on myself, but I don't know, seems like every 3 or 4 months, it's like, okay, let's go for the gusto and clean out because I want to be able to be available to myself, to my family, to you, and be the most empowered version of myself I think can be. So I've been dealing with some stuff and like dealing with some stuff that like from past life darkness, from this life darkness, like that kind of stuff. So anyway, darkness meaning like things where I've gone off, I've veered away from myself, okay? Or people, very vampiric energy has loved me. I'm going to fix my earring. My vampiric energy has loved me my whole life, in many lifetimes. I've had a lot of vampires cloaked in kindness. I've had a lot of vampires cloaked in like, I love you, but I just want to take from you. I had a recent experience with my massage therapist after 4 years. I won't go into it. Very vampiric energy. So this vampiric, my relationship to vampires being very attracted to me, wanting to take my energy. And what I mean by vampires is someone who wants to take your energy, take your light, take from you. That's been very up for me. So we were at Sprouts, and I could make this a very long video. In fact, I already recorded it, and it was too long. And I was like, they don't want to hear all the details, so I'm not going to go into all the details. But there was a man at the store caught my eye immediately. His energy was something I have never experienced before. At first, I thought he was like soulless, like a soulless person, a person that was walking around without a soul. He just felt off to me. He was dressed in all fancy cowboy gear, which is not unusual for where I live because it's a very cowboy town. People think, wait, are they wearing costumes? Like, no, that's how people dress here. Awesome. Cowboy boots, cowboy, the whole thing. Very cute, very fun, and very sexy, if you ask me, on some people, especially women. Okay, anyway, so he was dressed in all cowboy, very expensive cowboy stuff. I noticed him. I ended up behind him, being third in line at the cashier. This is at 9 o'clock at night, and I could go on to this story, but he was doing some really weird stuff with the cashier. He bought a bunch of stuff, paid for it, and then took time to return like 6 items while we all had to wait. It was very, very strange. Then he caught my eye in line, and I forget what he said to me, and he called me ma'am. So we had this moment, and again, I'm like, there is something not right about this guy at all. I'm having this internal feeling. I go outside, and he's kneeling down, and he's out there, and he's petting my dog. My husband's out there, and he's petting my dog, and again, I'm like, okay, I can't get away from this guy. Now he's like with my family, and he catches my eye, going, oh, she's with him. And his whole demeanor changed. And it was just the strangest interaction. And he stood up and he said, you know, dogs can sense when people have evil spirits. Normally, I would engage in a conversation like that because I think it's fascinating. But I didn't say a word. My husband didn't say a word. And then he said a couple more things about people having evil spirits in them. And then he ended the conversation because neither my husband and I were not engaging with him because his energy was so off. And then he said something about God and left. And we were both reeling. And I was like, that guy was not normal. Something was not normal. He was like soulless. Something was not normal. So as we were walking home, and I said to my husband, I said, I think we just met the devil. And he goes, I think you're right. That's what I thought too. I think we met the devil, a devil in fancy clothes, a devil walking around Sprouts. And I felt it, like we both got chills, felt it on every fiber of my being. And so it was like, why did we get this teaching of the devil, right, at Sprouts? Why? Why? And so I've done a lot of thinking about this and I've done a lot of meditations about this because the devil energy, I'm going to call it D, excuse me, D energy is all around us. There is temptation. One of my biggest prayers of the day is, God, keep me from the temptation of evil for the day. The temptation to steal, the temptation to lie, the temptation to harm ourselves, the temptation to have inner critic, be mean to ourselves, the temptation to gamble. It goes on and on and on and on. And all of those things, what do? They keep you from your light. They keep you from yourself. They keep you from your power. So the devil, in my experience right now, the D energy is very, very up right now. There's a lot of shenanigans happening, a lot of shenanigans. I've had $500 stolen from me, a check that was sent to me, $500 stolen from me out of the mail. And yes, this stuff has happened before. Yes, of course, not 500, 5,000, excuse me, $5,000. But it feels like it's very, very up. It's like the spiritual warfare is at a all-time high in my experience. And so by that man coming to us, trying to put on this, like, I'm going to be talking about God and evil spirits, and you guys are going to, like, I don't know. It was such a wake-up call to pay the attention to the people in your life, the experiences in your life, where you are focusing your energy. The biggest mistake I see people do is ignore what they know they need to address internally and in their environment and in their relationships. The biggest mistake I see people do is brush things under the rug. This is the time of the spiritual warrior. The spiritual warrior can move the D energy. Doesn't mean you have to engage with them, doesn't mean anything, but we can't ignore it and put our head in the sand and play like it's all love and light, because it's not. It's not. We can hold in our light. We can hold in our power. We can hold in our connection to the divine so that you will become impenetrable. But ignoring it is really not an option, because it's not going to go away until we face it and face the goodness and the love within ourselves. You get to create the reality that you want to create. That is a fact, and I absolutely know it. You get to create the bubble or whatever it is. But I feel like my little part of the world here in Arizona is like, I got my little bubble, right? I can't ignore things in my bubble. I got to meet things, particularly the shadow side of myself, because we all have a shadow. We all have something inside of us that we're working through. We have a shadow side. That is the Jungian thing, right? We're not all love and light. We battle, we deal with our own inner critics, our own self-doubts, our own, desire to do, whatever it is. So this is a message of, let's all pay attention to where you're focusing your energy. And it's vital. It's everything. Where you focus your energy on grows. Whatever you focus your energy on grows, period. Okay. So I am putting on I'm going to shift gears here for a minute, my annual event. This will be the last time that I'm doing this event, and the last time I'm going to be offering my 7-month spiritual signature course. But the free event is June 9th, 10th, and 11th. It's powerful. We talk about these things. It's all about looking at where you're focusing your energy and coming into yourself. It is all about the spiritual warrior. The spiritual warrior knows who she is, follows through on things, trusts herself, and does not abandon herself. We're going to talk about this. It's going to be 3-day ceremonial journey. So there's going to be meditations and teachings, and I would love to have you there, especially since this is the last time I'm going to ever be offering this. So all you got to do, I put it in the PS, the link is sign up. Yes, if you can't make it live, there will be a replay. However, the energy is potent when you are live. It's 3 hours of your life, June 9th, 10th, and 11th. Join me. I would love to have you there. If you've been following me or listening to me for a while, definitely come, because you never know it's not going to happen again, not in this way. I have big things in store for next year. Different things are going to be going in a different direction. God has me going in a different direction. I love you. Pay attention to where you focus your energy. Stay close to yourself. Stay close to the God of your understanding and your guides. And I love you. And I hope to see you June 9th, 10th, and 11th.